The distress signal came in like a bad hangover. Johnny, 2 guns. Mitchell sat in the Black Dagger's cramped war room, cigar stub between his teeth, grin tilted just so. He wasn't smoking it. The ship's AI had banned that nonsense years ago, but it gave him something to chew while the holographic waveform pulsed across the table. The AI's polite, slightly British voice announced, "Unidentified broadcast, repeating on all civilian bands. Translation available." Static hissed, then a desperate alien voice spilled into the room. "Assistance required. Research Station Kylath 4 under attack. Non-combatants aboard. Medical research vital. Request immediate aid." 8 humans sat around the table. They looked like someone had dumped a biker gang into a blender with a black-budget lab. Tattoos, scars, augmented muscles, and eyes that glowed faintly with nanotech infusion. Mitchell leaned back. "Well, team, some poor folks are yelling for help." Corporal Jenna Rourke, demolitions expert and perpetually stormy, raised a hand. "Permission to point out the obvious." "Granted." "It's a trap, 100% trap," Mitchell smirked. "Noted." Doc Havelock, medic, biochemist, and resident warrior, adjusted the stim injector clip to his belt. "If it's a trap, we dismantle it. If it's real, they're sitting on cures worth more than entire fleets. Either way, worth the field trip." Briggs, the sniper, stretched in his chair. "So, standard Tuesday then." Delgado pilot sipped her coffee. "Maury like Friday night at a space truck stop. You know the type, bullets, explosions, screaming." The AI interjected, crisp and polite. "Reminder, if this operation fails, humanity will disavow you entirely. Recommend minimal recklessness." Everyone laughed like lunatics. Briggs raised his flask. "Thanks for the pep talk, Tin Can. Really inspires confidence." Mitchell clapped the table. "All right, hooligans, strap up. If we win, we're legends. If we lose, we vanish. Same as always. Let's roll." The Black Dagger wasn't a dreadnought. It wasn't even a cruiser. It was a sleek, vicious corvette. Stealth-wrapped hull, drives that purred like a predator, and enough firepower to make entire fleets nervous. Delgado had her boots up on the console as the Kylath system unfolded on the screen. A pale blue gas giant loomed, with a single ring station limping in orbit. Fires glimmered in broken domes. She whistled. Stations venting atmosphere in 2 sectors. Railgun holes everywhere. Somebody's been carving their initials. Mitchell tilted his head. "Friendly carving. Not unless you call being mugged by robots friendly." Rourke cracked her knuckles. "Finally, I was getting rusty." Doc frowned. "There are civilians down there. And, so please don't explode them." Rourke grinned. "Fine, only explode the other guys." They docked under cloak in a shattered hangar bay. The deck was littered with wreckage. Half-melted drones, twisted crates, streaks of alien blood. Mitchell stood at the ramp, rifles slung across his back. "All right, hooligans. Delgado keeps the dagger hot. Everyone else, masks on. Time to dance." The ramp hissed down. The first firefight came fast. The Scareth were waiting. Cyber insect nightmares, mandibles clacking against metal jaws, limbs ending in saw blades and plasma nozzles. They shrieked and opened fire, plasma bolts sizzling across the hangar. "Contact!" Briggs shouted, already dropping to one knee, rifle barking. Sparks flew as a Scareth's head exploded. Rourke lobbed a grenade. "Special delivery." The blast showered the deck with sparks and fragments. Malik, the heavy gunner, thundered forward with his autocannon. "Therapy sessions open." Shells tore through metal and chitin alike. Doc dragged a dazed alien behind cover. "I leave you people alone for 30 seconds, and suddenly it's fireworks night." Mitchell strode through the chaos, laughing, both rifles blazing. "Relax, Doc. They love us." The Scareth broke under the assault. The humans advanced, leaving smoldering corpses and sparking cybernetics behind. They found survivors in a medical wing. A cluster of Olith with glowing scales and Eridani with crystalline frames huddled behind overturned tables. One Olith stepped forward. "You answered." Mitchell slung a rifle and grinned. "What can I say? We were bored. Who's in charge here?" "I am Vera, lead researcher. This station studies cures. The grey rot, the phage, the scream plague." Doc's eyes widened. "You're that close?" "Yes, that is why the Scareth attacked. They would twist our work into weapons." An Eridani, voice trembling, asked, "What empire do you serve? Who sent you?" The humans exchanged glances. Mitchell smirked. "We're independent contractors." "Contractors?" Rourke leaned in. "Galactic pest control. You had bugs, we sprayed." Briggs added, "Think janitors. Only with style." An Olith child peeked up. "Where are you from?" Mitchell winked. "Far away. Best food you've never tasted, worst weather, and a long tradition of punching problems in the face." Vera frowned. "That sounds dangerous." Doc muttered, "Don't worry. They're very polite about it." One of the Eridani tilted his crystalline head. "You move like predators and laugh like entertainers." Rurk grinned. Exactly. The Olith child tilted her head. Do you always scream when you fight? Mitchell shrugged. Only when it's fun. The young Eridani murmured. I do not understand. How can killing be entertaining? Briggs shrugged, firing a clean headshot. You'll learn, Vera whispered almost to herself. They are like chaotic windstorms with teeth. The next assault hit like a tidal wave. Dozens of Scareth poured down the corridor. Plasma bolts screamed, claws sparked. Positions, Mitchell barked. Malik's autocannon thundered, shredding the swarm. Rurk set explosives, blowing 3 apart at once. Briggs fired calmly, muttering kill counts under his breath. The aliens huddled, wide-eyed, whispering amongst themselves. Why do they not fall? An Eridani asked. Because they are humans, Vera whispered, voice trembling. They are out of their minds, an Olith child added, eyes glowing with awe. The Scareth captain charged, bulkier than the rest. Mitchell met it head-on, ducked a blade, jammed a rifle under its chin and fired. The corpse collapsed. Still got it, Mitchell muttered. Briggs called, extra limbs. Doesn't count. It counts, Rurk yelled. Doc dragged another survivor out of harm's way. Would you hooligans stop treating this like a game? The aliens tried commenting as the fight raged. Do they always smile while killing? Vera whispered to Doc. Yep, Doc muttered. It's a coping mechanism. Can we analyze them? Asked a young Eridani. Like, record their behavior, Briggs laughed. You'll need a lifetime and then some. Why do they speak in riddles and nonsense? Another Olith asked. Mitchell shouted from cover, grinning. Because nonsense keeps life interesting, the Olith child whispered. Are they like gods? Or demons? Both, Vera replied. I think both. The humans stormed the research core. Explosions rocked walls. When the last Scareth fell, silence reigned. Mitchell stood panting, grinning. That's that. Anyone else need therapy? High therapy, Briggs said. Still open. Vera, trembling, looked at them. You fight like legends, but laugh like children, Rurk grinned. Exactly, best of both worlds. By the time station defenses rebooted, the survivors gathered in the med bay. Vera stepped forward. You saved us, our research, our people. Who are you? Mitchell grinned. Ghosts, nobodies. But you could save the galaxy, an Eridani said. Mitchell shook his head. Not our job. You cure diseases. We handle headaches with bullets. Stick to your lane. Delgado's voice rang over comms. Cap engines hot. Time to ghost. Mitchell winked. If anyone asks who saved your hides, tell them the Tooth Fairy did it. The ramp sealed. The black dagger lifted off. And then it was gone. Later, the survivors whispered. An Eridani child asked, who were they? Vera's glow flickered. They call themselves contractors, ghosts. No empire has warriors like them. They were myths, another whispered. Or demons. Or comedians, the Olith muttered. The youngest said softly, maybe all three. As the lights flickered back, the Olith and Eridani agreed. The galaxy was not ready for them. On the black dagger, Mitchell leaned back, cigar stub between his teeth. The crew laughed, bruised and alive. To the black dagger, he said. They raised their drinks, and like ghosts, they vanished into the void.